Okay, I think we can slowly start. Hope that you hear me well. Welcome on AppExchange. What does it take to publish your first app? My name is Jakub Stefaniak. I'm Salesforce Certified Technical Architect and VP of Technology Strategy and Innovation at Akiva Labs, one of product development outsourcing partners, which means that on a daily basis, I'm working with AppExchange products, helping ISVs to pass security review, publish first version of their app, and so on. And mostly I'm here today because recently I published a book, AppExchange Success Blueprint, which explains that it's not so easy, but it's also fun to build your AppExchange apps. So the reason why generally it's worth to thinking about building your own products is the fact that AppExchange is really huge. And if you think about more than 150,000 of Salesforce customers, more than 90% of them use at least one AppExchange package. For enterprise customers, having like 50 different packages is not an uncommon thing. So recently, more than 12 million of installations of AppExchange products happen. And in my personal opinion, AppExchange is the reason why Salesforce is going to stay with us for a long time. Not because it's the best CRM in the world. Some people believe Microsoft CRM, as we've seen during Kahoot, is better, but because of the strong partnership ecosystem which is extending the platform. The tricky part is that to become ISV, publish your first app, you have to learn about many things. There is this technical part with building managed package and passing security review. There is the full track about business when you need to sign some contracts with Salesforce, define your pricing, and at the end you have to define your go-to-market strategy. If you are not familiar with all these things at the beginning, there are no easy way to find this information. So people in Salesforce are experts in one of these three tracks, but it's very hard to find somebody who can help you literally go through this process end to end. And it's our goal for this session. So I hope that after 20 minutes, you will have some understanding of what really does it take to publish your first app and become ISV. So the first question should be, if you're a Salesforce expert, does it mean that you should use Salesforce to productize your idea? Because of course, it can be more convenient, but you have some idea, you have some application requirements. You should keep in mind that Salesforce apps works best if they are compatible with Salesforce user interface. For something super custom, the user experience may not be optimal. In terms of the integrations, Salesforce has some governor limits, right? If you will have a product which is like super heavy integrated, it can be tricky to pull it on the platform. And the second thing, time and resources. So like it requires some special knowledge and expertise to really build the app. And last but not least, security requirements. Salesforce has quite well-defined process and expectation. If you would like to build something fully custom, you can just hit a wall and learn that it won't be possible to publish it on the AppExchange. In terms of the steps to follow, the first one is super easy. You go to partner.salesforce.com and just register as a partner. You have to sign first agreement, which is very generic and literally it's allow you for free, regardless do you want to build commercial app or free app, to become officially registered Salesforce partner. Then Salesforce would like to hear about your business plan. If you have like your product architecture, if you have like some specific business requirements, maybe you have some compliance certifications, you are going to be asked to deliver them. And then another interesting contract is waiting for you, but this time you are going to define how you are going to sell the app. So what is your pricing model and so on. And you can expect as well to have a call with ISV team when you will be granted opportunity to ask questions and clarify how exactly this partnership is going to work. So far, not very interesting, not very exciting, and unfortunately it's mandatory to go through these steps. Everything else is starting to be much more interesting because when you become the AppExchange partner, you get access to quite lots of tools for free. So we are going to have your own Salesforce instance with 2 full user licenses for free. Then you are going to have access to Developer Hub to create Scratch orgs, to Environment Hub to create a trial version of full environments. So like lots of these tools will help you to have a full life cycle of your application. You are going to have access to new applications which allow you to track who installed your app and what is the usage of this app. So license management app and even feature management app, which allow you to disable or enable some features for specific customers. What is really nice, you have access to all these things for free. In different ecosystems, it's not uncommon to start charging partners from day one for access to this kind of tools. Then, before you will jump into the building phase, it's good to define what exactly is the problem which you are trying to solve and for who you are going to solve it. So what is your ideal customer profile? To do it, my recommendation is to, if you are an expert in design thinking, that's a good approach. If not, I really like just jobs to be done because it's a simple framework which forces you to think, okay, so what exactly my app is really about? What is the purpose of it? What kind of the job is going to be delivering to the specific customers? And with having this high-level vision, it's easier to do not add any random feature to your product just because you think it can be interesting for one person, but think who is your ideal customer. And then on the design phase, it's good to think how we are planning to monetize it. So what is going to be your pricing strategy? It's not uncommon for engineering department to build something and say, yeah, we'll figure out how to sell it later. But if you on the design phase think that you maybe want to have some bundles of features, some tiers like freemium model, basic, enterprise, and so on, it will be much easier to design everything at the beginning than try to put some strategy after development is done. And last but not least, product market fit. If you are solving a specific problem for specific people, you should be able to say, okay, there are probably 10 different document generation apps or 10 different CPQs on the market, but you should be able to articulate what is your niche. That maybe you want to create CPQ, which is going to be the best CPQ in the world for healthcare market. And having this product market fit is going to help you a lot with keeping consistency of your vision. And then, if you're a Salesforce expert, you are familiar already with Apex and flows. But it's good as well to get some experience and some knowledge about tools specific to ISVs. So Dynamic Apex will allow your customers to make some local customizations. The same with the flows. So there are like some flow templates. Doesn't make sense to use them in standard Salesforce development. For ISVs, it's like extra layer of customization. You can for free start using platform cache, which are going to help you to improve performance of critical parts of your application. If you build Lightning Web Components, you should learn about custom property editors, so the way how the end org administrator will be able to configure your components in the easy way. And you are going to have access to a new tool, ISV Customer Debugger, which allow you to debug orgs when you don't even have access to them. It means that if you are a Salesforce consultant, Salesforce architect, or Salesforce developer, it sounds like you know platform very well, but in the super small ISV niche, there are many new things which it's worth to dig into it. And then the fun part is the fact that before you can publish the app, you have to pass security review. It's going to cost you $1,000 per attempt if you are going to publish the commercial app. Most of ISVs fail the first attempt. So on average, second or third attempt is a realistic timeline. Similarly to designing the pricing strategy, it's good to learn about security review before you start development. If you firstly build the app and then try to make you secure, it's going to take months, lots of attempts, lots of dollars, and most of all, it's going to be quite frustration. In terms of the security review, you are expected to give Salesforce the testing environment with your app installed, with some test records, when they literally can make QA/pen testing kind of activities. You must give them documentation. So both in the architect point of view documentation, the user guide, maybe installation guide. And then you're expected to deliver static code analysis results. So before you submit your code, you should verify, are there maybe some vulnerabilities which automatic scanners can find? If yes, of course, you should fix them. But if you will have situation that some things works, for example, regardless of user permissions in the system mode, by design, you are expected to deliver false positive documentation and explain why exactly this is not a bug, it's a feature. Then it's nice to build stuff which works nice on your developer org, but unfortunately you are kind of expected to deliver it as well to other customers and other people. And from this point of view, release management of managed packages contains like two parts, the deployments and releases. So the difference is that on the deployment, you need to understand how packages, versions of the packages work. There are some special technology called push upgrade, which allow you to push new version of your app to new environments. And you can build via Apex some scripts to, for example, populate some records, delete something, change something as part of the installation process. So I would say that deployment is about technology. On the second part, on the release, you have to have a plan. Deliver something, for example, to the sandbox, and after 2 weeks to the production. During these 2 weeks on the sandbox, probably you would like to ask for the feedback. Then your customers would like to know what exactly are you changing. So having a release note is kind of important. And it's all about communication. So customers don't like to be surprised that you just change app during the night, and the release is just about people. It means that for your ISV, it requires to have some formal process, and keeping in mind that literally your customers can be really pissed off if you forgot about them. To have a customers, you must onboard them. And that's the nice part, because usually it's a moment when you are going to have an app which pass security review, and you are going to prepare AppExchange listing. You are going to record sooner or later a video showing the main pros and cons of your app, and you are going to design the trial experience for people to give them access to play with your app before making decision about buying it. So I suppose all of you have seen already AppExchange listings in your life, but let's take exactly what is the structure. We have the header, and your document is like one of the apps built by Akiva Labs. So at the top, we are trying to define what exactly is the core value proposition. Chat with your documents with Salesforce in any language. Then information about the pricing model, so freemium. We have place when we are putting some screenshots, some recordings. Then we can put some highlights, so like describe probably the main features, and put the details of the pricing. So in this case, the freemium allow you to install the app for free and spend like 500 questions or whatever. As part of it, we have the recording, and I think really it's the most important part of the listing. It will be nice to have like super long recording and show all your features, explain all your history, but you know what? Probably people are not going to have enough time to listen to it. So the maximum time which is recommended is like 3 minutes. In our case, it's just a minute, and I would play it for a second, and then we'll discuss what is exactly covered.
Managing documents takes up a lot of time. What if you could just ask a document for what you need and get an answer? That's what Ask Your Document does, a tool we initially created for our own use at Akiva Labs. It helps quickly understand legal and commercial documents. It also handles documents in different languages, saving both time and money. Sales, marketing, service have quick access and valuable insights on your documents through the utility bar in all of your favorite Salesforce clouds. Your data stays private and secure. Ask Your Document supports Salesforce Enterprise Edition and higher. Try it for free on the AppExchange.
Okay, and as you've seen, 45 seconds. It's literally, if you don't use TikTok, ask your kids, ask their friends. People have exactly in this moment of humanity, 45 seconds, 1 minute is like maximum attention which you can expect. So you have a very short time to explain what are the features, how it looks, what is your core value proposition. I've seen too many videos which are too long, and probably most of them have a very poor ratio of how many people finish them. And the next step, trial offering. So recording is nice, but your customers in many cases would like to just play with the app. If it's possible to install it from your listing, that makes sense only if your application is literally easy to use. So you drag and drop component, it works, that's a good approach. If it requires a little bit more configuration, probably they are going to just have no time to spend hours on configuration to give it a try. So for this case, you have a new technology called Test Drive, which is an org which you configure, install your app, and you allow people to open this org in read-only mode. They cannot create records, but they can literally use the application and see how it works. If your application works in read-only mode, that's a good approach. If it requires to, for example, create records to show the real potential, you can use Trialforce. So it's another way to create literally a new org with your app installed on top of this and some pre-populated records. In this case, whatever you choose, you can put it information on the listing. So for example, in this freemium app, we had like opportunity to both install it and test drive. Whatever you pick, you should think at least about one of these options, because if it's just the recording and just screenshots, again, many people will probably decided that it's too risky to make decision about buying it. Okay, then you probably are going to start having customers, and in a perfect world, paying customers. So it's a moment when it would be like to know how exactly are they using your app. So Salesforce give you access to AppExchange Partner Intelligence, which is a set of free tools. The marketplace analytics will allow you to see how people interact with your listing. So, for example, did they find it via Google, via search on AppExchange, maybe came from your social media campaigns. You are going to have for free access to CRM analytics / Einstein, Wave, whatever is the actual name. You have like 2 licenses for free. It's a good moment to start thinking how to utilize it for your own reporting. And something unique to ISV, App Analytics. So there are like 3 types of logs which Salesforce automatically is starting to gather about usage of your app. You have like some summary logs, which is like a monthly information about specific user of specific org doing specific action. You have the daily logs of usage. So literally you are going to have a timestamp that this person clicked this button, ran this Apex class, create this record at 3:25 p.m. Million of records. For them, it's good to have some strategy how to get knowledge from these logs and how to probably delete them sooner or later. And on a super high level, you have subscriber snapshot. So it's like monthly summary of the org, how many records of specific type, for example, are created. And then your product roadmap. So after you go live, you will need to start balancing few things. On one hand, you are expected to still add new features, so innovate, right? It's one of the reasons why people are not making in-house development, but buying AppExchange app, because they expect this progress to happen similarly to Salesforce. But besides of that, you are going to have some competition. So you are going to see what other people are adding to similar products and think, does it make sense to have some feature parity? It's not uncommon to have a big customers who are going to say that they are willing to buy your app if you add something specific to them, some specific feature. You should not automatically accept this request, but literally make a decision, does it make sense to have it as a local development as part of onboarding, or productize these ideas? And last but not least, technical debt. You are going to add lots of features, probably make lots of mistakes, and sooner or later you can see that adding new stuff to your product starting to be slow, difficult, maybe you have bugs. So having some strategy how to manage this technical debt is kind of mandatory. So managing technical debt is not easy. Usually it's quite important, because if you don't think about this proactively at the beginning, after 2 or 3 years, it can literally stop you from doing anything else. And then having like 2 or 3 months just for solving technical debt probably is going to be quite big problem, because it's a moment when you have already some market visibility, some customers waiting, and it can be a big problem. Okay, so it's not easy stuff, and it's lots of stuff. Where you can get help? Salesforce team, their business development representatives are these people who are going to speak with you first time when you are signing the agreement. So they are good place of contact. There are technical advisors, so dedicated Salesforce team who can help you to scale your application to get more from the platform. And they're your partner account manager, so experts in terms of the go-to-market. The sad truth is that when you are a big, successful ISV with lots of revenue, it's easy to get access to these experts. If you're at the beginning and you are a small one-person startup, they're going to be nice, but it's going to be difficult to find lots of time and help. And to kind of mitigate this problem, Salesforce created PDO program, Product Development Outsourcers. So they are like special type of consulting companies helping ISV. You can check them. And as well, in terms of all these activities on the way, they can help you to solve specific problems. If you want to learn a little bit more about this, as I mentioned, we have a book, and for people who participate with the session today, we have 1 copy to make a draw. So Barbara, please come to me on the stage. We were looking for the best way how to make the drawing to be fair. We found that it's not possible to do anything better than I will just use the whole app, make this, and bye-bye, I will pick randomly one person. Please stop the scroller. Okay, do we have with us David Attali? Okay, we don't have, so maybe you were looking like a David for a second. So we will try to do our best, or if anybody not registered for the session, it can be a good moment. So let's do it. We have like half minute to do it. Half second. Please take your time. Are we ready? Okay, so one more time, let me refresh the list. Okay, maybe, how would you pronounce Sofiane?
Sofiane Hada? No,
Okay.
Behir Oslati? Okay. Alex Parsin?
Congratulations. Thank you. And that concludes the presentation. So if you have any questions, yeah, please start shooting. Yes, please?
If you do an upgrade to your ISV, it's done automatically in wherever it's installed works, or the client needs to update it?
Okay, so the question is, when you upgrade as ISV, is it automatically installed? No, there are like few separated things. One, you build a new package, and if you want to install it on your customer orgs, you can use, for example, push upgrade technology. So we are picking the orgs and saying install on this, this, and that. The good idea is to keep all your customers on the latest version. If not, it makes you problem to support many historical versions. The second thing is your AppExchange listing. So you must to go to your partner console and automatically pick that you want to this new package version to be automatically installed for the new customer. So it's kind of manual step. Any more questions?
Yes. There's one thing in your slides that I don't understand. So you pay about $1,000 for a security review, but then you're able to update whenever you like, and therefore, is Salesforce sure that your updates are as secure and do not have any malicious code in them?
That's extremely good question. So after we pay this $1,000 for the security review, how Salesforce makes sure that you are not adding some malicious code? There is a checkbox, and you are clicking this checkbox and saying that you are not doing this. And they trust you because you are a Salesforce partner. I mean, the truth is that you sign already 2 different agreements. To become ISV partner, they make some due diligence check on you and so on. So like on this stage, it's kind of sure that if you make something very stupid, they can sue you and they have better lawyers. So probably it's kind of way of thinking. Additionally, there is a process of security re-review. So after some time, officially they say it's after 2 years. I've been once in a company when we had first invitation after 7 years. They're going to ask you to again submit all your code base, all documentation, and go through the process from scratch. But it's not happening so often. The same question, okay. Yes, please?
You said that it might take several attempts to get through the security checks. So how much time does it take on average from the application being developed to the point where it actually gets published? How much time would that take?
So how much time is it going to average take between start of building application and publishing it on the AppExchange? My strong recommendation would be to literally think about MVP, what is like the smallest piece of product which works, is valuable, and you should not spend usually more than 1 to 3 months on development of MVP. If your MVP is going to be too big, it's going to be more difficult to pass security review. But mostly building the app, it's not the hard part. Finding customers is difficult. So if you spend like 1 year on building something just to find that there is no market for this, that's a problem. And so to wrap the question, the security review should take between 1 to 3 months, building the app the same. So I would say between 3 to 6 months is like realistic to have app live. Yes, please?
If you are trying to release a small new feature app for which is free, is the same price that Salesforce has taken the 99.99 for security review?
It's exactly, even if it's one custom object, you are going to pay $1,000. It's just part of the format. The only exception are free application. For free application, you do not have to pay.
That's what I was saying. So I'm trying to publish a free application into you.
So in this case, for free application security review process is for free. You just need to submit case and ask them for the voucher. They give you a voucher and then you pay $1 because their interface require you to put credit card number. Next question?
Just to be sure, once you pass the security test, even if your application becomes like 100 times bigger, you don't have to pass it once again?
You are going to have to pass it again as part of the review process, but it's going to happen probably after a few years. So we are going to get formal email saying that it's been a long time since the last security review. You have now, let's say, 3 months to prepare, and you are expected to submit again. If you ignore this email, they can remove you from the AppExchange. But if you submit and fail, they're going to explain you why, and then you have like time to fix it. So it's about having like willingness to solve the problems, not about being very strict. It's better to have MVP, and it's better to literally manage technical debt and keep in mind that these requirements about security, about scalability are not one-time thing. It should be part of your product development culture. Okay, I see that the last question. Yes, please.
Could you please show the previous slide?
Previous slide, yes, of course. Because I forgot, my publisher generated some discounts, so please enjoy if you want. Awesome. And thank you one more time for your attention.